Hey guys, it's Kate with the Book of Kate. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you guys are here. Today we are going to be talking about the 11 books that I read in the month of February. So if you want to keep watching I guess, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really means a lot, and let's just get on into it. So starting with the books that were on my TBR first, the only two I didn't get to were Mischief Night by Delaney Foster and Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hilbert. I probably read 5 pages from my TBR video because I was already in the middle of this book. And I just had to put it down because I was in the worst slump of my life. And this book was low-key sending me further into that slump. Like, I had to get out. I had to get it out and put it down. And this one, couldn't even tell you what it was about. I don't even think I downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited. Like, I was not in the mood to go into a book blind. So the first book that I read off my TBR was Reckless by Elsie Silver. I give this book like 3.54 stars. I don't know if it was smart to binge this series because they're getting a little repetitive. And I have the last one on my TBR this month. Yay! This is an accidental pregnancy romance between Winter and Theo. Winter is Summer's best friend. She's the heroine from book 1, and Theo is Rhett's best friend from the hero in book 1. So I love how we always get to see so much of the past characters just because I get attached, and so I just want to keep seeing the characters again and again. I don't know, like, I just wasn't in love with this book, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if it was the slump or what. It's an accidental pregnancy romance. That's one of my favorite tropes. I'm odd like that, and that's one of my favorite tropes. But I just couldn't get down with this one. I do appreciate, I don't want to give too much away, but I do appreciate that she told him right away. Like, I hate when there's an accidental pregnancy and the people are not adults about it. So I was super happy that I saw that. I just didn't care. I can't say anything else about it. I just didn't really care about this book. And then I read His Game by Angel Rain, and I really enjoyed this book. I haven't heard anyone talk about this book. I haven't even heard about this book or this author before I went to Wonderlust a few years ago and picked it up. And it is a mafia romance. So this book follows Luca, whose brother killed the love of his life 3 years ago. And so when his brother comes back to town with his new fiance, he decides to kidnap his brother's fiance, and they fall in love. Things go from there. But he ends up actually kidnapping the wrong person. Like, he kidnaps his fiance's twin sister. Okay, so the reason this book wasn't a 5-star to me, honestly, it's because I have a hard time believing that a man who was in Witsec would come back to his hometown and not even change his name. Like, his fiance goes on TV and like, oh, who are you engaged to? And she says his name. I'm pretty sure the first thing they do for you in Witsec is change your freaking name, you know? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This book does end on a cliffhanger. I'm excited to see where the trilogy goes. And then we have Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate. This book series follows a group of owners of a sex club, and they each have a different kink. This book, it's about a voyeur. His name is Garrett, and he loves to watch people. So when he's searching the web one night, he finds this stunner of a girl who turns out to be his stepsister. I DNF'd this back in 2022 because I just couldn't get down with them calling each other's parents mom and dad. Like, odd. Odd. I'm fine with step-sibling romances, but like, that was odd. You know, like, you can't disagree. It was odd. When they're getting it on, and then they're calling each other's parents mom and dad, like, get the fuck out of here, please. So I gave this book a 3.5 star. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so I would recommend you checking it out that way. Make Amazon pay some money. I am going to continue on with the series because I have it all. I have them all, so Eyes on Me, 3.5 stars. And then the last book from my TBR was my favorite book of the month. It was Unbroken Promises by Nikki Ash. And honestly, guys, this is probably a 6-star read. So this is a why choose, friends to lovers, right person, wrong time. Like, it just had everything, and it was so gut-wrenching and emotional. Just know, like, this book is amazing, and pick it up. So then I listened to Restore Me by J.L. Seegers, and I gave this book 4.5 stars. It's on Kindle Unlimited, but I listened to it through my library, and I loved this book. I really did. It is book 2 in the New Haven series, but book 1 in Mallory and Chris's story, and I can't wait to pick up their second book because it does end on a cliffhanger. I'm just waiting for that hold to come through on my library. This book is just amazing, and the fact that I gave it 4.5 stars when I was in my reading slump, like, I should probably bump it up to 5 stars. To be completely honest, just because the fact that I loved it so much while I was in a reading slump, like, it wasn't enough to get me out of a reading slump, but it was so good. So this book is a book that takes place in college, and it's fake dating. Chris just treats Mallory right. Like, this man is a book boyfriend of mine, because tell me why. Before they're even really dating, he calls her friend and is like, hey, buy me clothes in Mallory's size so she can have them at my house. Like, he was just thinking ahead, even though they weren't even really dating. Like, he didn't have to do all this stuff, but he did because he really loved her. Like, it was so cute. It was so fun. I can't wait to pick up book 2. But just to let you know, J.L. Seegers books are chunky. They're chunky and they're slow burn, but the ride is worth it. And then another book I listened to was The Brazen by Devoney Perry. This is book 3 in the Calamity Montana series, and this is my least favorite book in the series, to be completely honest with you. And I need to take a break from this series because I have been binging it, and that was not the way to go. I don't think Devoney Perry is an author I can binge because her books are all so similar. Like, that's comforting, but also it gets boring. It gets repetitive. So this book follows Kerrigan, who we meet in the other books. She is friends of the heroines in the other books, and she is like the busybody of the town. You know, she has her hands in everyone's business. She runs a lot of businesses, and she's very idealistic, you could say. Then there is Pierce, who is a super grump. He comes into the story because Pierce's grandfather is a huge investor in Kerrigan's businesses, and he ends up passing, so his grandfather leaves Kerrigan's investments to his grandson, Pierce. And Pierce is definitely no nonsense. He's like, you're actually going to pay me back. Like, no extensions will be had. You're paying me back right now. You have a month. So we meet Pierce. We kind of hate him at first, and then they get snowed in together, and it's fun. It was just kind of boring. And then there was also like an unnecessary plot point in there that we just didn't need it, and it really dragged on the book. You know, I didn't pass. And then, oh my god, there was Sentinel by Elise Kelly. This book, not good. Like, I was literally throwing shit at the wall to see what stuck with my reading slump. And like, I finished this book because it was like less than 3 hours, but it was horrible. It was a motorcycle club romance, not done well. It wasn't done well whatsoever. I gave this book a 2.5 stars, and the narrator, horrible. The writing, horrible. The story, horrible. Like, it was just all around not good. But you know a book that was good? Space for Love by Emily Antoinette. My library had the audiobook, and I was like kind of following it along, or like picking up. I don't know what it was about this book, but it was like such a good book to read physically. It's a cozy alien romance series. It follows an alien named Marlin who sees this girl at like a sex simulation, and he's like, I'm in love, love at first sight, I'm in love. And so he tries to impress her. Her name is Fina. He tries to impress Fina, but he's worried Fina won't like how he looks, so he disguises himself. And so there's a little bit of a hidden identity in there, but she ends up falling for Marlin, and then she's like, it's just so good. I definitely can't wait to pick up the other books in the series. It is on Kindle Unlimited if you're interested. It's spicy, it's fun. If you like alien romances, definitely pick this one up because it's so cute. And then I listened to another audiobook. It was just a huge audiobook month for me, you guys. It was Find Me by Ashley and Roshtek, something like that. This is a witness protection romance, and it is a why choose between brothers. It does take place in high school, and nothing really happens in the first book. I wish it took place like freshman year of college. I think that would make it better, which is why I only gave it a 4-star. It is on Kindle Unlimited if you're interested. But this book follows Shiloh, who something happens to her family. She ends up in WITSEC, and she is kind of just all alone. Her neighbors get like friendly with her, and they just really want to be their friend, and it's friends to lovers, and then she just starts falling for all the brothers. And then next I read Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane, and this book was horrible. 1 star, like disgusting, horrible. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so thank God I costed Amazon money and I didn't spend any money, because like I would have been pissed. This book was horrible. I wanted to be obsessed with this book because everyone is obsessed with this book, but I just couldn't do it. This book follows Lincoln, who has the wrong number for someone who's supposed to go on a date with, and he ends up contacting Monroe instead. They get this witty banter going, and Lincoln becomes obsessed, like finds out everything about this girl. He tattoos her name on his dick before they even like do anything, which is kind of crazy to me, and I'd love to know logistics for that. But my thing is, he is such an abuser. He really is. And I'm not simply in a place right now, and this book wasn't good enough for me to ignore the red flags. Like, this man literally manipulates and pushes everyone in her life away. He goes to her apartment complex and is like, you're gonna evict her tonight. He goes to her job and goes, you're gonna fire her tomorrow. He really makes her rely solely on him, and it was just disgusting. Like I said in my review on Goodreads, there's no way she's not dead within 5 years. Like, this man is gonna kill her. And then the last book, which I literally finished February 28th night, was Off Track by Aisha Patel. And this was an F1 romance, and I don't know why Goodreads doesn't seem to like this romance. Like, people are not a fan of this romance, and I am just so curious as to why, because I enjoyed it. The only reason I can think of people not liking it is because it's so F1 heavy. If you don't give a fuck about F1, or if you're the type of person who be like, oh, I like sports romance, but I don't want to see any sports in my sports romance, don't pick up this book, because literally your F1 is gonna like be bleeding out of your ears. Like, it's 90% F1 and 10% romance. But this book follows Dina, who is a female F1 racer, and she breaks into the sport. Like, she was brought up and she's really fighting her way, fighting through misogyny and all that. And then Miguel, who was born into the F1 world, and they spark up a friendship, and then it leads to something more. This book is a closed door romance, so if you're looking for a closed door romance, I feel like this is a good one. But I really just want to caution you guys, because of the F1, like, nothing deep happens, but if you don't like F1, like, just pass on this one. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books, or if not, what your favorite book that you read in March was. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!